who is the biggest threat that they look at in the CIA? Is it a religion? Hey, look at what's going on with Islam in UK and Europe, and look at the damage they're doing. They're coming over here next. We got to be careful with a religion, right? Is it a region? Is it a community? Is it a mindset? How does CIA, rank threats? And or any of those that I said on the list? Like, how do they look at it and say, and the number one threat is this, number two threat is this? How would they view it?
The number one threat is China.
Still.
And that's not just how CIA views it. That's in the published national security assessment that comes from the DNI. Number one threat is China. Number two threat is Russian influence and chaos in Europe. That's the number two threat, I'm pretty sure, according to the DNI. And then I think after that, it goes into more transnational threats, cyber threats. I am certain that the next year's assessment is going to include fentanyl or something with Mexican cartels. But that's essentially how they rack and stack the threats. And it's because one threat has multiple sub-threats. China is a military threat to the United States. It is a regional threat to U.S. allies, including the Philippines, Japan, South Korea. It is an economic threat because it's growing its economic capability to compete with America one-to-one, whether it's telecommunications, whether it's chip manufacture, whether it's electronic vehicles. It's a logistics threat with the movement of materials as well as rare earth minerals. So these compounding sub-threats make China the number one threat.
Did they ever bring up the religion of Islam or no?
So is radical Islam was absolutely on that top 10 list during the global war on terror, because we were concerned about the radicalization of Islam, not Islam writ large, but that radicalization of Islam. What we've seen since then is that anybody can be radicalized. It doesn't have to be Muslim. You can radicalize an angry kid in a basement in Pennsylvania, right? So there's ways to radicalize all sorts of different people. So we've moved away from being fearful of religions and moved into recognizing that it's the weaponization of ideology that's used by radical groups.
Yeah.
I would be surprised, Pat, if there's anybody in government that sees Islam as a threat. I would be surprised, because that is a way that was...
China does.
But China's not the U.S.
No, I know that, but China does.
Yeah, because... And go ahead, sir.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's a level... It shows how not sophisticated China is, that they still view that as a fear, as a national security concern, right? They haven't evolved to the place where they actually can identify a true threat.
Yeah, I'm reading the Shah's book again for the God knows how many times. Can you pull up his book? Not this one. Go to images. I'll show you which one it is. It's the last one he wrote before he died. Second row, second book, right there. Yeah, that one right there. And he opens it up in the first chapter and talks about his bigger concern, because this could have been a blind spot that he had. He was more worried about communism in the 70s than he was about Khomeini. He thought because of the whole, Russia, USSR, Soviet Union, and hey, Karl Marx, Stalin, Lenin, all that, and they were moving to Iran. So his bigger threat was the Tudeh party. Saddam Hussein, I think, offered to kill Khomeini for him. Can you verify this, Rob? I think Saddam Hussein offered to kill Khomeini, and he didn't think of Khomeini as a threat, right? And some say he mismanaged the threat. He saw an ideology, philosophy like communism as a bigger threat, and who's Khomeini? He's going to come and do something to Iran? You're nobody. You can't do anything to me. And Saddam, who was a little bit more reckless than he was, kind of like you're talking about Mossad as the CIA earlier, Saddam's like, hey, man, you want us to take this guy out? Because you don't seem to be too threatened by him. No. Okay. So he doesn't, and that offer was made by a few different people. It wasn't just him the offer was made. I'd actually, Rob, if you can verify that, I really want to see if that offer was made, because I don't want to just make claims and it's not. I thought I saw this somewhere. Saddam Hussein threatened to kill Khomeini. So somebody offered to kill. When Saddam was consolidating with, I reckon, Shah forced Khomeini to leave Najaf. Khomeini forced to France. Some accounts suggest Iraqi authorities harassed Khomeini and warned him to stop his anti-Shah activists, but there's no verified, of course there's not going to be a verified record, but Saddam had a position. He saw Khomeini as an existential threat to Iraq and went to war. So he apparently, I have some friends that were former Savak guys from back in the days, and I've spoken to some of the guys. They're all older right now. The former deputy director of Savak is somebody I've had meetings with. He's visited the house. And Saddam had a better eye for threat maybe than the Shah, because he knew that guy you have to worry about. And because Iraq and Iran weren't having problems under the Shah, he wanted to eliminate a future threat. He didn't. The moment the Shah fell, what does Iraq do, Saddam do? Attack Iran. I lived in Iran when Saddam attacked us. I'll never forget the attacks. Tabajo, alamat qermez. We would hear these alarm lights. So the lights would go out and tabajo, alamat qermez. The red signal shows that somebody's crossed our border. And who was it? It was always Saddam, and he's sending his people over. Do you think it's naive to not sit there and be seeing some people that view U.S. as the enemy, that they want to destroy this country and our Western ideology, and say, no, it's more, we have to worry about socialists. We have to worry about communists. We have to worry about Chinese. We have to worry about this. Maybe China's not the naive one. Maybe we're the naive one. Could that be a possibility?
Absolutely, because if you think about it, September 11th, 2001 happened because the federal government thought communism was a bigger threat than radical Islam. And it wasn't until people were jumping out of towers that we woke up to the fact that we have a whole new threat that we didn't take seriously. So in many ways, we're standing in the shoes of the Shah, not realizing the true threat because we're still focused on yesterday's threat.
Yeah.
I think where we stand right now is best defined, especially for people who understand how to shoot a gun. You've got your 5-meter target, and then you've got your 15-meter target. China's our 5-meter target. China's right in front of us, getting closer, and making gains every day. If we start using our ammunition on the 15-meter target, we're going to continue to lose ground at the 5-meter target. So let's take out the 5-meter target and move on. Or let's put 80% of our effort into the 5-meter target, 20% of our effort into the 15-meter target. Let's not make the same mistake where we invest 100% of our effort into fighting communism and then lose 2 of our buildings.
Yeah, because Saddam wasn't the nicest guy, but he had decent instincts.
Because the dude fucking got power in a history of other people just killing each other.
Think about that.
I mean, one of the things I loved about living in the Middle East was that everybody knows what it's like to fight for survival, so they never take it for granted. Whereas here in the United States, you walk down the street, you go to Publix, the grocery store here in Florida, everybody walking in and out of Publix has no fucking clue how to fight for survival. Even if they're carrying a weapon, it's there because they think it's going to help them, but they don't know how to actually fight for their survival. I mean, you've got Bedouin people who, they didn't even have technology in the 1950s. And now it's 2025 and they've got the most modern cities in the world. That's an incredible amount of transformation that has happened in the lifespan of basically 2 generations. They still remember what it's like to be under the hot sun with nothing.
No, I mean, that's you said earlier with Israel. Israel has an edge because they're always in not fight mode, because they have to stay protected. America, we're so lucky. Who are you worried about? Canada or Mexico? We don't go to some, oh my God, what if Canada attacks us tomorrow? They cross the border.
Right.
Hey, tabajo, alamata qermez, Canada's here. No one worries about that, right? It's a very different threat that we have. I don't know. I was just kind of asking to see if there was always conversations about certain sects, certain religions, certain communities, certain cults to be ready of, and how do you watch what they're doing? Who's here? Who lives here? Who from ISIS? Who from this? Who from Hamas? Who from, Houthis? Where are they at in the States? It would be something I would think about. Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New future looks bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.